Man is born free, yet everywhere finds chains. Have you heard that? If you haven't heard it, I'm sure it resonates with you. If you've heard of it, you may have thought about it. It's something that resonates with me a lot. We're born free. We live in free countries, hopefully, yet we found ourselves bound and tied up. What we can and can't do, what we must do, what we're obliged to do. And that's in work, family commitments, income, all of these things. And then there's the change that we hold in here and in here. Freedom is what's important, right? Freedom. I'm very clear that that's one of my highest values. And I put it 6 ways: doing what I want, where I want, with who I want, why I want, for as long as I want, and when I want. You can see that's not the first time I've said it. It's a core value for me. I met a neighbour this morning, lovely young mother on our road actually, and they had a day planned on this holiday of going to the coast. There's some beautiful cliffs where they were going to walk with the kids, and I was uplifted by that and really wished them a fantastic day. But here's the thing. Can we do that every day? Can you wake up and decide you're going to go to the beach, go to the hills, go into a city and just take off? If you're employed, there's less chances you can. If you work for yourself, there might be even less chances, or they may be the same or more chances. But here's the thing, and it's back to the born free yet everywhere finds chains things. The brutal point I want to make to you is your quality of life is nowhere near as good as it could be. If it is, I'm so happy for you. I praise you and I bless you and I wish you an even better quality of life. But this message is for the majority of people who do the following. I'm going to hit you hard. You steal quality of life. You steal days out, like nice walks, occasionally coffee on a Sunday morning, yet you're bound. And I will say the following, frankly, it's bondage. You don't want to do it, but you have to do it, whether you're employed or working for yourself. And you are born free, yet everywhere find yourself in chains. Create freedom for yourself. That's the core value. Forget everything else. It's a dignity thing. As a grown man or grown person, shouldn't you be free to do what you want as long as you're not harming others and abiding by the law, of course? Shouldn't you be free to do what you want, where you want, when you want, for as long as you want, why you want? I can't remember the other one. Shouldn't you have that freedom? It just feels too far to dream of. I've decided, no, that's not my dream. I've decided that is in the process of happening now. And the interesting thing was, when I looked at what I could do now, and I didn't need a future finishing line or a future income stream to reach, there's a lot that I could do now. So that's the first thing I want you to reflect on. If you look at what you'd really like to do, so much of it you can do now. Secondly, so much of it costs nothing. Best things in life are free, as Janet Jackson sang away and taught us. Great message behind that, simple message. But I want you to have more freedom. I want you, we've all heard the phrase, sack your boss. And in some cases, even if you work for yourself, yourself as the boss or the business is what you may want to sack. Now, we're not saying throw it all in and sit under a tree and smoke weed, but not encouraging drug use at all. But what I'm saying is options. I've learned that options create freedom. Think about that. When you create options, that gives you power, that gives you freedom. If you've put a job ad out, you've got 7 good candidates, and you think, right, who are the very best 3? And you would happily take the worst of those 3. you're in a great position. Yeah, if you're dating and looking for partners, if you're chatting to several people and you think, right, who's the best one for me? So they have to like you as well. Options give you choice, and that's power. Not power in a controlling, abusive way, but power in a self-determination way, in a way that helps you live the life you want to live. Create freedom. That is what one of the main things we're doing in the Total Wealth Mastery program. It's about freedom. It's not purely financial, but here's the thing: when you have multiple income streams which are passive and systemized, not everything's going to be passive. You can just focus on passive, but it limits things. But if you say, right, I'm going to look for passive and systemized, and the systemized can be anything from a couple of hours a month to a couple of hours a week to a couple of hours a day. And you have the freedom to set this up. There are people doing this. That's what I want you to do. I want you to see evidence that this is possible. And then I want you to start to move into the next stage and phase, which is thinking it's possible for you. Go off and do it on your own, and you can do it. It's the long way, it's the hard way. If you were to climb Everest, you wouldn't just pack what you thought, do a little bit of research on the internet and head off. I would hope you would get the best guide and the best information, A, to make it back alive, but B, to minimize any harm or damage to you physically, mentally, and emotionally. But then take the easiest, fastest, and safest and the most pain-free way to the top. That's what we've got. We've done it. We've put it in place for you. We're here to serve you. I want you to be free. You deserve it. I want you to be able to look at your wife, partner, kids and say, right, what are we doing today? Oh, you're going to school, or you're going to work, or you're running your business. Fine. When you're free, we can plan something. How does that sound? Rather than you as the husband or partner working long hours, walking in, and then the evening starts, or you have your blessings of the weekend and your couple of weeks a year. That's everyone's life, but I'm here to say that's no life. Possibly controversial, probably controversial, and we're not saying this is a walk in the park and an easy breeze. But if something, what price your freedom? What price transforming your life? What would it be worth for you to wake up and decide whether you're going to work, how much you're going to work? You may not be able to do that every day, but if you can do it 3 weeks out of 4, imagine that. Not even a week out of 4 where you think, oh, I'll work from home. That's I can have less stress and put my hours in and do the work, but then do the school run and do stuff around the house and whatever, and work in my tracksuit bottoms. That's the kind of freedom we're trained to think is possible. Think bigger. If it doesn't feel scary, if it doesn't feel ridiculous, think bigger. I want you to think bigger. Why? Because if it feels doable and viable, that's your current state of mind. And that is not the place to exercise your imagination when it comes to your life. Einstein, famous scientist, I beg to differ. I think he was a genius philosopher, and I think scientist second for me, certainly. Imagination is more important than knowledge. And that's one of the greatest scientists. So think about that. Imagination, and not thinking logically, believably from your current state of mind. Think beyond that. You've got to feel for what we're about, what I'm about, and what we stand for. We are passionate to do this for you. What you see is what you get. If it doesn't fly for you, we'll take all the risk and happily give you whatever you invested back. And you can continue life on your path, and we may meet again. But if this sounds like it's for you, let's start talking, and let's get you to your freedom. You're incredible. Thank you.